rather than, you know, because she was German. She snuck out to go to a nightclub and she ended up in the UK. And so that's what I meant by here. And so they met together. So, you know, if him being from the States, obviously.
So growing up with him, with your dad, you said he was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's, I suppose people imagine what was he like in terms of as a musician? They always seem so elusive, don't they? But as a family man, was he a family man?
Yeah,
you know?
he was. And you're right, you've struck on it. You know, I always say my dad was so available for us kids. You know, and a lot of the big stars are even elusive for their families. They're just like, you know, they're these characters, and they don't break that, or they don't have another side. My dad really was a tender family man, and just we had to give him a day off when he got back from touring, you know, and just let him sleep or whatever. And then after that little period, he was just whatever we were doing, he wanted to get into.
Archive footage is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And you've got some clips of some of the TV appearances he made over here.
Yeah.
And people slightly taking the mickey out of the sunglasses, which people are always fascinated. Why always the sunglasses?
Yeah, and so the story that's great. He needed the prescriptive glasses to read, and so he had reading glasses and clear glasses and his dark shades. And so he put his regular glasses down on the plane and left them. And it was just before a tour with a band called the Beatles in 1963. And so he flew over here and wasn't able, and he said he was so embarrassed because he had to wear his dark shades on. And by the third night, the kids were all looking for the guy with the shades. So.
And it became just a calling card. It was like, that's who he was.
Yeah.
I was struck by your eyes, and I did just ask you before we started, before we came back from to talk to you, if you had the same eyes as your dad.
Exactly the same.
Same colour.
Same colour, exactly.
Because it's not something you really...
And the same prescription, so I had the surgery, so I literally had the big, thick glasses for my whole life, and my dad's hair was actually around my shade as well, and he dyed it black, and so he dyed his hair black and had the shades and did the whole thing.
I tell you what, there's so many fascinating things about documentary, but one of the glorious things is it is an opportunity just to revisit some of his music, and people I think sometimes forget just how beautiful songs were.
Yeah, they don't forget in the UK we have a top 10 album right now called Love So Beautiful, Roy Orbison and the Royal Philharmonic, and it's just a fantastic representation of my dad's hits, and it's really, really nice to get back to the records. And you know, this documentary is all about the family and stuff, and it is interesting because it really makes you want to listen to the music.
Alex, really loved to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in for us.
The documentary is called Love Hurts. It's on BBC 4 at 9:30 tomorrow night. And, as mentioned, the album is called A Love So Beautiful.
That's it for us today. Back tomorrow at 6.
Now it's time for Island Medics.